Okay, well, with our mortises cut into our legs and our legs nicely tapered on both sides, we now got to think about how do I join these two legs together in order to form the base of the table. I got to make this leg, right leg, connect with this leg, left leg, and then ultimately add on legs here and add on legs here and then connect those. It's going to be a square base. So how do you do that? Well, that's where your rails and your tenons come in. So you might remember these are the pieces of maple that I cut down to make the rail. Remember, they were really thick and I resawed them on the table saw to get them down pretty close to 3/4 of an inch. Then I ran them through the planer to smooth them out and get me exactly on to 3/4 of an inch, or so close that it won't matter. So now I've got to make that connect those two pieces like that. And the way that you do that when you're doing mortise and tenon joinery, one piece gets the mortise, which is the hole, and the other piece, which in this case is the rail, gets a tenon. And it'll get a tenon at both ends, and then it'll end up connecting there together. All right, so let's take a little closer look at the details that I need on the rails in order to get these tenons to fit. So the piece here needs to be 3.5 inches long, and it needs to be 20 inches from the end of one tenon all the way to the end of the other one. So with 20 inches of overall length, and it calls for a 1 inch long tenon at each end. So that means so that's 2 inches. That means this interior dimension from in here, this shoulder, all the way to this shoulder is only going to be 18 inches. Perfect. And if you'll recall, that's half the diameter of the table. Neat how that works, huh? Anyway, so looking here, I can move that out of the way. Looking here specifically at the tenon, it's going to be 1 inch in, or 1 inch long on each side, 3 inches tall. It'll have a stop a 1/2 inch from the top, and this cheek cut right here is 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 of an inch from this side to the inside face or cheek of the tenon, and then 3/8 inch thick tenon itself. And we got to do that at both ends. My shoulder cut clearly marked right here, I can use a little trick to create a better landing for my handsaw. So I can take a chisel, a sharp chisel, and I just come in here right behind that little knife cut, and I'm just going to flick up that little bit right there, and I'm going to work my way down the length like so. And I'll just take this here and I can bust those out of the way. So by severing the fibers like that with the chisel first, right up against that knife line, that creates a little, what Paul Sellers would call a knife wall. So Now I can cut to this side of that where the waste material is. And there's my shoulder cut. Now, if you'll remember from the design, I need a 1/2 inch haunch set on here. I'm just making sure my cut is square right there. Not too bad. So I need a 1/2 inch cut so I can mark a notch. So I can set my square in here like this. And this is not a super critical cut or measurement. These are all gonna have to be fine-tuned into their individual mortise. Clamp that up in the vise. Saw down to the shoulder, just like that. Now I can flip it over again. And just using the shoulder as a reference, I can come in here, cut that off parallel. And that's what it should look like. So this side should sit flush against the leg. The leg mortise will sit over top here. And then, yeah, and then that'll be my tenon. And this will get glued. So, 7 more to do.